kind of trying to figure out how to find the right space for myself in snow sports since then, and then also just like the joy of being able to go from, being really disenchanted with skiing, now getting out all the time, skiing like 60 to 100 days a year, building a bunch of new community around snow sports, finding a bunch of queer community as a result of both shooting Maritime Air and then like also Open Slopes.
So as you can see, I'm obviously in New York, but for this episode, we were not in New York. We were in Portland with Hank Stowers. Is that how I say his name? Stowers? Sorry, Hank. Prior to this episode, I kind of just thought they were a skier. I didn't really know anything, per usual. And the first thing that they took us to do was go in like a foggy, mossy forest, which I couldn't help myself. I think I shot like 500 gigs of just moss. From there, we went to Mount Hood, which I had always seen Mount Hood from the High Cascade videos, but it was super sick to actually go ride Mount Hood and kind of just watched Hank throw themselves off like 8-meter wind lips, not checking landings, landing in straight ice, doing it over again. Hank didn't give a fuck. And it was so sick to watch and ride. And yeah, I think this might be one of my favorite episodes of the season. Pack Heavy Chase Light with Hank Stowers. Stowers, here.
My name is Hank. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Durango, Colorado originally. I now reside in Portland, Oregon. I'm a skier and a writer and an organizer for Open Slopes PDX. And I think that's it. That's all I do. Ski and think about stuff. Like, whoa, fast. Kind of rediscovered it as an accurate term. I stopped skiing, and I needed to stop skiing and just let my brain develop a little bit and gain some variety of experience to feel like the person that I was. And then when I moved up to Portland, I wanted to spend time skiing, but I wasn't trying to do it in any kind of a career sense. It was just I should probably go skiing, and I kind of missed that. Just getting up on the hill reminded me that I did want to get back into it. It's awesome. I love the process. I love building a jump. Obviously I love flying through the air on skis. But yeah, the whole thing kind of started to re-appeal to me. And then obviously there's not a lot of popular queer representation and non-binary representation in skiing. That's pretty uncommon. Started writing, went to a coffee shop and ended up just starting to write some ideas down, and I ended up writing the outline of a script for a film that I shot 2 years ago now. It's called Maritime Air. It was kind of an attempt to blend the aspects of my queer culture with ski culture and my ski identity. At the time before that, I was doing a variety of different jobs just to make ends meet, and among those included some online cam work and stripping at a strip club in town. So I was what if I just take aspects of my life that are actually accurate to what I'm doing right now and turn it into kind of a short narrative, but then combine it with a mixtape style ski edit, something you'd see on New Schoolers, because I also grew up as a New Schoolers kid. I think a lot of the right people saw it, and it kind of got the ball rolling for me to realize that I could actually do skiing in a serious way and create meaningful media and create things that to me are an authentic projection of something that I want to see in the world, and also something that I think is interesting from a creator's standpoint. It is a family mountain. There are people from all different walks of life here. One thing that you see with Mount Hood, and I think probably some other P&W resorts, but definitely Mount Hood, is that we don't get a huge amount of out-of-town tourists. What you do see is a lot of crowds from the city, and it like brings out just the widest variety of people that would ride here. It's got a lot of really, really radical terrain, and it also has a lot of really casual, like, skiing for the views. One of my favorite things about Mount Hood is just that, like, there's so much variety in, like, the way that the wind and the historical lava flows have, like, shaped this mountain, that every single pocket, every single canyon, every single aspect, like, has something new to offer. Like, definitely, like, a privilege to be able to recreate in that space that has, like, a rich history that is not a dominant history of skiing. Yeah, I fuck with Hood.
We should bring back ski ballet. I'll be the one to bring it back. Olympics 2048, the ski ballet.
Hank does a really good job of bringing that joy and play that's so foundational to Open Slopes and our relationship to the slopes. Sometimes I tell people that you haven't really seen Hank move until you've seen them on a pair of skis. Like, it almost looks more natural for them to be like floating down the mountain than it does for them to be walking down the street.
Hank's style is resilient and flexible, which I think is definitely a defining characteristic of their ability to ski and experiment and like explore what their body and their mind can do.
I think anybody who's seen them ski knows that they're a very playful skier, and it's all about the style and the joy rather than the biggest, scariest thing, although they go off really big and scary stuff. No, I love watching Hank ski. I think that it brings a smile to most people's face to see it.
That we've made us in the images I see. Only love.
Hank's one of my best friends. Hank is my ski teacher. Hank is variety. That's the term that I think best describes them. Hank is a revolutionary, and Hank is one of the more stylish people I know. That was a massive floater. Wow. When I started shooting with Hank, I had kind of been a relatively like beginner skier, but to follow Hank and to shoot with Hank means that you have to be relatively adept, and I learned really quick that if I wanted to stay safe, I had to ask questions, and Hank was really good at advising. I would say Hank is not a fearless person. Hank is a reliable gauge to safety. I will say though that I've been blown away by Hank's ability to just dust it off.
So this should be good go. So I'm gonna come off right here.
And I've seen them fall hard, and there's only been a couple days where we've turned it off. If the moment's right, they'll definitely get back up after a pretty big fall and take another hit.
I think I can hit that leg. Do one more shot. Yeah, I mean, I like to think I stay on my feet a lot, but you don't always stay on your feet. I'm glad that ice chunk and I didn't get over acquainted. We stayed at a safe distance from each other. But yeah, can't win them all, can ya? Fun cornet stuff. Definitely gonna play on it more after you guys leave.
Right before I graduated college, I came out here and did a road trip up the West Coast, and when we stopped here, it felt like a confluence of a lot of the things that I had been looking for in my life. Like living in a city that has like a vibrant and loud queer community was really exciting, and immediate outdoor access was really special to me. For me, I've always been kind of like a bit on the outsides of both like a city culture and like a mountain culture, where I want like more cultural saturation and a larger population than you find in a ski town. I'm a little bit more driven toward the outdoors and spending time outside than a lot of people are in major cities. And yeah, it's just kind of like a liminal opportunity to do both here.
What is Open Slopes? Open Slopes is a mutual aid group that Hank and I and our friend Miley founded and have been running for the past couple years that focuses on getting queer folks and Black and brown and indigenous folks outside, skiing and snowboarding. And we're really founded on principles of care, support, mutual aid, and like play and joyfulness.
For a long time, I've really been passionate about like, I think skiing is fucking amazing. I think it's transformative and like one of the coolest things that you can do to be able to like glide down snow. And I think like a lot of people that don't get the chance to would really like it. Immediately, one of our thoughts was like, there's a lot of opportunity to grow snow sports culture in this space and to like give people a fresh perspective that like folks might spend their whole lives in the city and not get out to the mountains.
Everyone here is here to slay.
This is for the gays, the days, and the misbehaved. We're out here making waves. We're gonna do it till the grave. Everybody here is here to slay. Hooray.
That can change somebody's day. You go to the trail by yourself, you feel bad, meet somebody cool, and like next thing you know, you're like having a blast, and like you don't think about it for like the next week. Anytime I want to like let go of that frustration, I'm just like pop the headphones in, go ride. And after that, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be just in a groom run, hitting the side hits, and just like fucking around, and that's like zen. That's like it right there.
I don't know, I just like want people to enjoy skiing because I like skiing so much and I'm so passionate about it. So Portland is cool because it's like a city of millions of people. Every single one of those people could be a passionate skier if they wanted to be or if the opportunity presented itself to them. It is to me, like a pretty magical juxtaposition to be like, we're in the city right now. Like literally surrounding us is more Portland and we're like in a rainforest. The space feels like an eco sci-fi, like cyberpunk dystopia sometimes, just with like the foliage and like being in a literal rainforest. I always, when I'm in this forest, I always think about like how sick it would be to like log jib all of these like moss covered logs and stuff and just like ski through the forest. Oh, it's so slippery. You could jib it. Someday I'll do it. Someday I'll film like in the rainforest type video. I think this was the first log I saw that was like, what if you skied down this? And one of the things I like so much about this space in Portland in general is it feels like fodder for like a magical realist like interpretation of the world. Like as a person who wants to speculate and wants to dream and see like imaginary worlds, like to me this place is like the culmination of aesthetically like what I imagine when I think about I don't know, like the borderline spaces, like the liminal parts of our world. I constantly feel like I'm getting like inspiration refreshers in my life living here. Things are never the same or constant. It's cool. Is it obvious yet that I like scrambling around on stuff? Yeah. I've always been a climby kid, definitely like a monkey bars kid. A combination of ADHD and like just the joy of moving on things has influenced a lot of the way I perceive the world. Wow. Welcome to my crib. Yeah, you can really smell it right now, for real. Yeah. Skiing has a history that's pretty awful. When ski resorts started here, virtually all of them were segregated and were for like rich white people. So like it makes sense that a lot of skiing now is like some of the culture is kind of like stuffy and doesn't allow for like a lot of experimentation because it like has a tradition of that. That's like a big part of ski history is like being exclusionary. And it applies to like people and identities, but it also just applies to like style and what people are trying to do on skis. And I think that like, to me, the coolest skiers are like the people who try to look at every part of the mountain in a way that is like totally authentic and unique to them. Like, how can I turn this space into like something that is a reflection of my identity, like through motion? I think that's really cool. People use the term like blank slate a lot to describe stuff in skiing, and I think that's kind of corny because it's like not blank, like you're in nature that is already like, there are parameters and there are bounds, but like I really like the part of skiing that's like, let's use this space as a way to generate new ideas. Why do I do what I do? This one, I have like a lot of answers. It's not like a lack, it's like a surplus. I do what I do because I want people to be able to see the expansiveness that exists in this space. This is a natural space for us to be, and the mountains are like a part of human history that extends beyond our record of history. And I think that humans have always loved to do this thing, and I think it's really important to like create a more broad definition and expanded definition of what doing this thing means. For me, skiing is a freeing activity, but like more so, it's an opportunity for people from all different backgrounds to like interpret their identity and their self and bring it into a space that's full of individuality. Like everybody's doing their own thing, right? But like there's such beautiful camaraderie in doing it together. My second favorite ski days are like powder days when I'm like filming it by myself or with one or two friends or something. My favorite days on skis are when I'm just like hanging out with a group of people who come to it from different backgrounds, different identities, and can like collectively share like the thrill of doing this weird thing together. It's silly and I don't know, it feels right.
A lot of people would say like true artists make art for themselves, and it's like very introspective and they don't even care if anyone's seen it. So I think, well, I can't be an artist, but the things I make are just like because I want other people to enjoy them. I like just talking about ideas, and I think that's the biggest currency for me, and having ideas about lots of different things.